Well, this is the Manchester City game I'm going to be talking about today, and I knew it was going to be tough. I said that in my previous video, it was going to be a hard game, but there were lots of positives to take from it. My name is Stephen Dawes, this is Palace to the Core. Don't forget to subscribe for more Palace news, views and reviews. And today, it is the morning after, the day before, the Manchester City game, and as I said, I didn't expect us to play in particularly well. I thought that we would be, I thought that it would be too close between the other games that we've had. I felt that we weren't possibly not going to be at our best. We didn't have Chris Richards again. He's going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks, so I knew that we were going to be short in the back. Lerma stepped in again at the back for Chris Richards, and Will Hughes was again in the centre with Adam Wharton, and I felt that we would probably create chances, because we've created chances under Glasner since he's arrived, but it's just one of those things where are we going to be able to convert them into goal scoring opportunities. And I have to say that from the beginning I was really impressed with how we played. I felt in that first half we knew that Manchester City were going to be a possession team, because that's what they are. They like to have possession. But I felt that we, especially in the first half, we weren't letting them have too much opportunity. We were trying to press, we were trying to get, press high, we were trying to get them out of their rhythm and not allow them to pass the ball around. And very quickly it turned into a fantastic opportunity. Adam Wharton was an amazing pass down the line through to Mateta, who put the ball away absolutely amazing. And that was at the very start of the first half. So, from the very beginning, they were working incredibly hard to make Manchester City make mistakes, and that certainly did happen. Unfortunately, a little bit later on in the first half, Kevin De Bruyne came with a wonder goal that was probably a Wilfried Zaha special, coming in from the right and then curling it into the top corner. Nothing Henderson could do about it, and it was expected that they were going to be scoring goals against us, but I felt that we were working really hard. Dean Henderson made a couple of really good saves, one particularly from Erling Haaland, one-on-one. Amazing save. He had a really good first half, played incredibly well. And so, and we were doing, I think it was probably, and this is just my opinion, I think it's probably the most Oliver Glasner-like that we've played so far this season under him. I think that we were trying to be compact. We were compact. We weren't too troubled at the back. We did concede a few chances, which Dean Henderson had to save. But I felt that we were also able to press high, and because we know that Oliver Glasner said before that he knows that Manchester City like to have a high press, and we were trying to counteract that, and we were trying to get in amongst them and make them make mistakes, and we did, or we were nicking the ball off of them. And as soon as we got the ball, we were going forward a lot more directly than we had done previously, which I was really pleased about. Especially the first goal at Mateta, it was just 2 touches and he was away. Well, 1 touch from Adam Wharton into the path of Mateta, and he just took a couple of touches and shot. It was that quick, and I think that's what Oliver Glasner wants. He wants us to press high. He wants us to, when we get the ball, react quickly, and I think we were doing that in the first half. I really do. There were times when we made a few mistakes. I mean, there were lots of passes going astray at times, but I think that was something that we'll be able to improve on. I felt that we were harrying Manchester City, and even though possession-wise they probably had the most of it, I felt that we were doing well. And the first half, to go in at 1-1 at half time, I thought was absolutely fantastic, because we had probably 3 or 4 good chances. One we put away from Mateta put away. We had 3 more good chances, particularly from Jordan Ayew. Could easily have gone in. We could have been 3-1 up, or something like that. That would have changed the whole game. Now I know I'm talking a bit fanciful there, but they were good chances, and I felt that if we had put them away, it would have been a very different story. Anyway, second half came on, and we didn't quite have that same intensity that we came out in the first half with, and we were a little bit slow, a little bit lackluster in the beginning of the second half, and Manchester City were able to capitalise that with an early second goal at the beginning of the second half, and that was a bit of a shock, a bit of a disappointment for me, because I felt that we had worked hard, and I felt that we were earning that draw at that particular time. And certainly, I would say the beginning, or certainly the first part of the second half, we weren't quite doing what we were doing in the first half. We were sitting back a little bit. We looked a little bit sluggish, a little bit tired, and I'm sure that's the case. I mean, Oliver Glasner is demanding a real high pressure game from these players, and I'm sure that it does start to show after a while. And in the second half, we started to look a little bit lackluster, a little bit heavy in the legs and things like this. And Man City had this amazing 20-minute spell where they knocked another 3 goals in, and so by that point we were 4-1 down, and it was a bit of a shell shock for us. And Oliver Glasner spoke about this in the post-match conference, and he said that when he looked at the goals, apart from the second goal from Kevin De Bruyne, he looked at the other goals that Man City scored, and he felt they were all defendable. He felt that they could be defended if we had done better with what we did. And basically a couple of them were just the fact that we didn't pick up the bodies. Kevin De Bruyne's goal, the second goal, they just didn't pick him up, and they didn't get close to him, and he managed to get the shot away. The second one, I think, was scored by, was it Bob? I can't remember now. The one that was very close to the goal. Again, we were diving in to block the ball, but we didn't have him under control at the beginning. If we'd have been in there when that ball came in, and we'd have been next to him, it might have been a different story. So, as Oliver Glasner said, there were things we could have done to prevent those goals. And he said that he feels in the future, in the coming weeks and months, they will be less likely to concede those type of goals, because he will train the team to react better to them, and to, he was talking about the team doing bad habits when they should be doing good habits, and I felt that was the case. We were dropping him back a little bit in the second half. And then he started to do the substitutions, and Hughes went off, and Schlupp came on, and who else went off? I think JP Mateta came off, and Edouard came on, and Elise came on as well, which was fantastic to see. Also, I think Klein came on, and Mitchell went off, and it was a good. When you look at the substitutions, you think to yourself, well, Schlupp, is he really going to be doing anything in the game? It was great to see Elise come on for those final 20 odd minutes, something like that. I think he came on for, which is what Glasner said he would be allowed to do. And I can understand some people saying, well, why did you bring him on with 20 minutes to go when we were already 4-1 down? I can understand that, and it's a similar argument to what they said with Roy Hodgson when he brought him on against Brighton, and we lost him again. But I think that Glasner wanted him to get a little bit of fitness before the Liverpool game, because I'm sure that if he comes through this game unscathed, which apparently he has, then I reckon he'll be able to play more of the Liverpool game, which should be good for us. But when those substitutions came on, Hamada came on a bit later on as well. When those substitutions came on, I felt that we improved again. I felt that we, again, had more impetus going forward. I felt that we pressed higher again because we had more energy. Hamada had a really good game. He made a couple of really good passes. The one pass he made to Schlupp, who crossed it in, and Edouard got the flick into the goal for the second goal for us. That was a really good move. And again, it's what Glasner wants. He wants quick movement forward. He doesn't want us to do this passing left and right and backwards or forwards. He wants quick movement into the box, quick passes to create chances. And that, again, was a very Glasner-like performance in that respect. And after the substitutions, we were pressing them higher again, and they were making mistakes. And we had a couple of chances in that second half then that could have gone in and would have been, again, a very different story. And you can tell that Man City they weren't worried, but they were a little bit, I would say, a little bit wary of our counter-attacks, because they then started to waste a bit of time towards the end. And it's always good to see when you have the big clubs wasting a bit of time, because you know that they just want to see this game out. So that was a good thing to see. And I felt that we really did, in the latter part of the second half, came out again and really started to take the game to Manchester City, which is what you want them to do. I realise it's a 4-2 defeat, and that, of course, is disappointing for us. But I mentioned in the previous video about losing with dignity, and I felt that we did. I felt that, the 4 goals, 3 of them could have been avoided, but the way that we played was very Glasner-esque. As I said, the most Glasner I think we played this season, and you can see there are positives in that game. And as Glasner said, he says if we're playing at the very top of our game, we can we can beat anybody, and I really do believe that. I think that the way he's got us playing, we do have the capability to probably beat anyone, which is exactly what you want. You want to have a team that is capable of beating anybody. You might not beat them, but you have the ability to do it, and I think that's definitely the way that we want it to be. In terms of individual performances, I think Lerma had a really good game at the back again, really played well. I felt that Eze was a little bit off again. You know, he had a couple of good spells and wasn't quite himself again, and he got substituted in the second half, and I'm not entirely sure whether he's fully fit or not. I don't know about that, but he didn't quite seem himself. I didn't, and I'm thinking about it in my mind. I didn't see him in a full-on sprint. I didn't think in that game. Let me know down in the comment section if you saw him in a full-on sprint. I don't think I saw him like fully sprinting. Maybe there's a reason why he hasn't been. I know he's not always that kind of player, but usually he does make sprinting runs sometimes, and he didn't do that in this game. So I'm wondering whether he's still feeling a bit of an injury. Elise came on and played incredibly well, really did well. You know, he was full of energy. He made a couple of really good passes. Great to see him back on the pitch again. Had a really good 20 minutes. Wharton again had a really great game. I thought he played really well. Made a couple of mistakes, but again, you know, he's young, and a lot of people were making mistakes in that game. I felt that AU was a bit more on his game today. I felt that he was a little bit better in terms of you know, chasing down and his ability. He was a little bit better today than he was previously, so that was a good plus as well. Henderson, I think, had a really good game. I don't think you could blame him for the goals. Made some really good saves in the first half, and I think he had a great game. And really, I don't think anyone had a particularly bad game in there. Will Hughes had another decent game, perhaps not as good as he had before the previous game, but you know, he had another decent game. He played well in the middle there, so there was lots of positives to take from that game, and that's the thing that I'm going to move forward with. If we can play like that against Liverpool, I think we've got a chance of at least getting a point there, because I think that, you know, Liverpool are another very good side, and it's going to be a very tough game for us again. It's a different kettle of fish entirely, but there were signs of hope in that game that that really makes me think that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. Do you agree with me that you think that this was a bit of a Glasner fest in this game? Let me know what you think about the goals, and also let me know what you think about Elise's return after 7 games out. It'd be great to hear your comments and your questions. Don't forget to leave them down below. You can also email me, footballtothecore@gmail.com. That's footballtothecore@gmail.com, and I will see you next time.